I was thinking the same thing. Just hit the button and let it go.
Yeah, we'll just chat and you can cut out the parts that are no good.
We are already.
There we go.
Did you hear that song that I sent you then?
Which
Did
song?
you listen to it?
What
Did you
song?
listen to this song?
Which song?
Which song?
The Kip Winger one.
Did it
I
get
sent it.
buried in the messages? Oh, I know. I probably did.
Oh,
listen to it.
jeez.
I will have to go back and find it. I was actually just looking at Kip Winger the other day, funny enough,
Uh-huh.
because I saw an old post of his and I was like, oh yeah, Kip Winger. No, I totally, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and find it.
We'll listen to it later.
Yes.
Yes,
I
I'll
want to
have
listen
to
to
show
it.
you.
Love Winger.
Yes. Anyway.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, hey. Yeah. Welcome. Join us at the
Yes.
round table here. So, yeah, we're talking, obviously, another band, but we brought this up earlier, and we're going to talk about Foreigner. They're on their final tour.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, yeah, farewell tour, supposedly, which is now, I believe it's extended now for another year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if that happens, like every
Comes
other.
to fruition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, they formed in New York in '76. Wow, a couple years after I was born. But anyway, majority of us were born. But
All of us?
yes. Little interesting fact with this, I like Mick Jones came up with the name. 3 of them were from Britain and 3 of them were American. So they thought, we're all foreigners. Perfect. So they thought, wherever they go, foreigners. What a
They're
great name.
Foreigner, yes.
What a
Yep.
great name. So, yeah, so they, and just found out too, I think it was a week ago, that they are been nominated to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I believe they do belong.
Absolutely.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They've had some amazing songs, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So, thing that I remember about hearing from them back in 1984, when a certain movie was released, Footloose, happens to be their 40th anniversary of that movie, was Waiting for a Girl Like You. And that song is just amazing. Vocal, everything about it. You guys' thoughts on that song?
Well, that song, well, I mean, it takes you back to movies, doesn't it? And anytime you have really a ballad, right? It's just something that you hear in your heart, I'm going to say.
Oh,
And it's just
absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
it's one of
And
those
it
core
stays with you.
memories. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as you hear it, you're going to think about that movie. Or you're going to think about where you were that day. And, yeah.
Well, it's funny because there was another song, Reaction to Action. Same thing. I thought it was off of another movie.
Wasn't
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
And I'm thinking it was that same time period, though, of all these movies that were coming out. And thinking that they already had one
one in a movie. So.
in a movie. Why not, right?
But it was the sound of the time. Is at the time they all had that similar sound or whatever. Like, you
So
know,
it's very easy.
True. There's a lot of music that has that '80s sound or whatever. It's so hard
So
to
it's
describe
easy.
it.
It's easy to confuse one for another.
Yes.
Sometimes,
Oh.
yes.
Totally. Yeah. Then,
She's like, I swear I heard that one. I went, no, that wasn't it. It was this other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that was one of the songs. But one of the songs that I think everybody appeals to, though, is Jukebox Hero.
Oh, heck yeah, that's the
Yes.
fight song. Come on.
I think it's every guitar player or musician's song.
Yeah.
It's that, you're going to the stadium, you hear that roar of the crowd.
It gets you
Yeah.
going.
You-
You get the goosebumps, and you're like, yeah, I'm ready for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that introduction. It's like, okay, we're going to start here, and then we're going to introduce the drums, and we're going to
Yeah.
introduce the guitar, and then it just amps it up and
Gets
gets you
everybody
ready
ready.
for a great show.
It is like, there's just something about it. I don't know, like, and of course now I think of the movie Rock of Ages, same thing.
Oh,
When he's
It's good.
playing the song in there too, right? And it's like, wow, flood of memories.
Yeah.
Like, just from that era.
Yeah.
And that was the thing is that came up, and as a kid, you hear that song, and it just like, yeah, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to be a musician, and yeah, it's
Yeah, and that, of course, that album, produced by one of the greatest producers of all time, Mutt Lange, yes, who's gone on to produce
most of what
Leopard,
we
Count-
ACDs,
countless
exactly,
artists,
Shania
yeah.
Twain to Bryan Adams to whatever.
So many.
Yes.
so many, right?
But
So
you
is
can
it-
hear his in everybody's.
Oh,
you
his
know, you can
influence.
tell it. You
Yeah.
can
Oh,
tell
yeah.
when you hear him at Lang
Oh yeah.
produce song.
Yes. So, my question though, has anyone seen them live?
No.
Am I the only one then?
Yes.
were
You
the
are.
only one.
Wow. So
Do
when
tell.
when I saw them, it was interesting because I think they only played like 10 or 12 songs, and it was like 2 hours long. You see they always extended the songs,
Mm-hmm.
so like each song was like 8 minutes long.
So there was parts that were like not in the original. Or
Yeah, they always added to the end or
Interesting.
something like that. It was too bad.
Drum solos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
any extension.
Like Kelly Hansen, he's notorious for doing that. Like, but
But when you saw them, who was in the lineup?
so unfortunately, Mick Jones wasn't there.
So you didn't really see.
I really didn't see Foreigner. I didn't see Foreigner, and that's the problem right now is with this tour,
Yeah.
is that Mick is going to be there, but he's not going to be there every single time.
So if we wanted to go, how are we going to know what day?
We
he
don't
was
know.
there?
We don't know.
That's not cool.
No.
No, and that's yes, it is Foreigner, but it's
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
foreigner adjacent.
not.
well, they did reunite.
Okay.
Okay, a while ago, Lou Gramm did actually perform with them and some of the original members.
Right.
And I've heard lately that Lou Gramm actually doesn't remember even doing those.
Wow.
'Cause
The
of-
new shows?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
because of the health issues that he's experienced over the years. So,
Right.
yeah, like that's the weird thing about this band is that are we really watching Foreigner?
And you can say that about so many bands, right?
Yes.
But yeah, how many people do you replace before it's no longer the band?
Yeah, well, because there's certain bands where obviously there is,
The
you know,
core.
there's at least 1 or 2 founding members that always stay with the band, and you have the revolving artists that play with it.
Mhm.
And because of those core members, you're truly going to see it. But when you've got in this situation a band that was formed, but all those members of, for whatever reason, since passing away or just retiring from the band or what have you, is this new band like truly the band
The
or
band.
just a really good tribute band?
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair enough. And then why? It kind of takes you to the next part. Like, why am I paying these prices to see, in essence, a cover band? And should we be? Should we still be supporting that band because we love the music, or just because we want to go to a concert?
Well, and listening to it, like, music was bang on. Like, even the vocals. Like,
Mhm.
Kelly Hansen, great singer. Like, right up there with Lou Gramm. Like, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Is it Foreigner?
It's not quite the same.
It's not.
No. So I think that's the hard part right now. Like, I want to go see him on tour.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
But-
still to go see,
I know I've already seen him, but
but this will be a different inflection.
because it is their final tour, it's like
Mhm.
just seeing Kiss recently, the
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah, that's not the original members. Well, 2 of them aren't,
Yeah.
but it's still.
It's
So
funny you mentioned that one because that was the one I was referring to. Is, you got Paul and Gene, who are obviously always been members of the band. They were, revolution everyone else out through it.
So you're basically going with the nostalgia. I'm gonna go for the nostalgia, even though it
Yeah.
doesn't have the original
'Cause-
member,
Yeah,
which is fine.
The music that
that's
we.
exactly why I would want to go.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the music that we grew up with. Like,
Yeah.
come on, feels like the first time. Like,
Oh my gosh.
come on.
So good.
Come on. Like, and then Hot Blooded, of course.
Yeah.
Head Games.
Or Cold
Urgent.
as Ice. I like Cold as Ice.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Double Vision. Like, you can't go wrong with those songs. And then when you dig deeper,
Mhm.
they only play like the same 12 songs live. They
Right.
don't branch out. Like, my favorite, that was Yesterday. Like,
Is that one of the hits though?
it
Or
was
is
one
that-
of their hits.
Yeah, it
They
was
played
one
it
of the-
occasionally, but
They
the
just
time
don't
I
play
didn't
it.
see it, they didn't play it.
Because they try to stay with the hits. Like, what are they like?
Yeah,
when you
the
look
biggest
at,
hits.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, once again, comes is that's almost a tribute band mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
You should want to hear the other ones because when you're a true fan, you usually listen to the offsides too, right? What do you call them?
The B-sides.
The
B-sides,
right?
the
Yeah.
deep cuts.
Deep
Deep
cuts.
cuts.
Deep cuts.
Like,
Deep
I-
cuts.
That's what I'm
Just
looking
listening
for.
to it, and I found like there's one here that it's a progressive rock song. It was off their first album. It almost sounds like Yes, and then
Which one's that?
Star Rider, and then
Mm.
Have I Waited So Long? It sounds like a Beatles song.
Yeah, it does.
It really
Like-
does.
Yes.
Yeah.
like a John
Very
Lennon or
influenced.
Paul McCartney or whatever,
Oh,
right?
yeah, it sounds like Paul. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, play these songs. Like, I'm game.
Mhm.
I'm game for all deep cuts. Like, I like to hear different music, and I know that's the problem with and even some of the bands that we like, they don't delve into the deeper cuts.
No.
They might play like the one or two, but they always tend to lean towards just the hits.
The hits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what people pay for.
I was gonna say that's exactly what people want to hear when they go to concerts.
Yeah.
Like, not to go too far off topic, but like when Cyndi Lauper played the peony and she played all her jazz stuff, everybody was so mad because that's not what they wanted to hear.
No. No.
Well, exactly, and like everybody's trying to get Def Leppard to play all their deeper cuts,
That's
but they're like, well, people are here to see.
they don't want to hear
hits.
Pour Some Sugar. They don't
Yeah.
want
They
to
want to
hear
hear the hits,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like they
The
don't even
songs
play.
we all know and love.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
they don't even play. They didn't even play Blue Morning, Blue Day.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? That's like
That
really?
to me would be a bigger hit than some of the other hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I know they've got a lot of ballads.
They do, but that's great. Like, you need some bands that are just the ballad hits,
Yeah.
right? You need that mix between the different bands you love.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
What was I gonna say is that's with the music industry. That's one of the things I kind of dislike the direction it's gone now. Is everyone's kind of pay per use for whatever songs they want, so they're only buying the hits. People aren't buying actual albums,
Whole
and
albums,
because you're
yeah.
not buying the albums, you're not hearing those deep cuts and those gems, as I put it. Because like I go back on a lot of my albums, and a lot of the songs I like are never going to be the hits, but there is just something powerful about that song. And you know, I find the generation now that they're just missing those
missing
hits.
So much of that, yeah.
And like the artists, you know, the artists themselves put some love into it. So there's some songs out there that the artists love, but because
their favorite.
because of the dictation of the fans, they're subjected to playing the hits. They don't even get to play the songs that they
That
love
they
or-
want to do, yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
It is. It's. I think too. Like, we have everything on Spotify or
Yeah.
Apple Music now. Like, we had that. We could buy the record back then,
Yes, which is a totally
or
different
the CD.
experience.
The first thing I always did was like,
Experience,
oh, what are the credits? What?
Yeah,
Oh,
you can do
Right to the liner
notes.
notes. Yeah,
Yeah,
first thing we
that's-
did is
Yeah.
the song is on. You got the liner notes in front of you. You sit back, you listen to the album, and you're just reading
Well,
everything.
how else are you supposed to learn the words? Like, come on. That's the.
And
now
then they
you
got away
can't.
from that for a long
They
time. It's only
did.
recently that I've seen that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
it was to save money or what, but like you would
I
open
don't
it and there'd be
know.
like just this piece of paper with a picture on it. You're like, where's the liner
Oh,
notes?
where's the lyrics? yeah.
Well, I've noticed on Spotify too now they put a section for lyrics now. You can listen to the song
And
put
read
it,
the
and you can
lyrics.
actually and it follows
Oh,
with the lyrics.
Kind of like, karaoke.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly like karaoke.
Yeah.
And that's well, that would be another story.
Yeah, so some of our bands never necessarily had the lyrics in there, but they had the
No.
liner notes, they have the stories, the people behind the scenes, which are very important to the music. So
Their
like we were
influences.
mentioning Mutt Lang, Mutt Lang is a very important person. We had Bruce Fairburn in local music here, very important person. Like you see all those kind of connections, and then all of a sudden you see that this band's connected to that band and that band, all because of whoever
This one
produced
person,
them.
yeah.
Which makes sense why they all sound
And
similar.
all of
Yeah,
them come
a
up.
lot
All
of
of them
did.
come up to where we live and record their albums or used to, and it's
Yeah.
all
Mountain
those
Sound, yeah.
all those local connections, which was amazing.
Yeah.
No, yeah. There's so many good producers, and to have. Well, I know Jones. He turned into a producer as well, in between all the albums, as well. And then, I think what really hurt them is unfortunately when Lou Gramm left. Right, and he went with a couple of solo albums. He formed a short-lived band, Shadow King, with Vivian Campbell, who's actually now the guitar player for Def Leppard. It's interesting, like how, and I even listening to those songs, they kind of sound like a Foreigner song, even though it's just Lou Gramm,
Yeah.
not with his writing partner, but it still sounds.
That influence is
Yeah.
there.
You have that influence. It's kind of like Journey. Steve Perry finally
Oh.
released a solo album.
Yeah.
It sounds like Journey.
Of course it does, because he is Journey.
Because
Well,
that is,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly, right? And that's
Joe Elliott is.
yeah. So
Right?
you're
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? And I think that's what, like, Kelly Hansen, great singer, amazing singer,
Yeah.
but it's just not Lou Graham.
No.
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 And I know he's not the way he was back then, but
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's what makes it or breaks it in a lot of cases, right?
exactly, yeah. All right, so what was the first song that you heard, or
Yeah, like I'm
songs
gonna
that
remember that.
I don't, or songs that
I remember hearing a lot of the songs.
Yes.
But
okay?
Yes.
How did those songs make you feel? What memories now do they evoke?
A lot of childhood memories, obviously, like school, friends,
Yep.
crushes.
What song though? That's the question. I'm just
well,
curious. I'm just curious.
The first one I would say that stands out to me, and maybe Vicky's is the same. We shall see. I want to know what love is.
Yep, that's
yeah,
the one.
That's the one.
Yep.
Of
I
course, a
think-
ballad.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
because we're girls.
That's exactly.
And, you know, that was really a big thing in our time. Because you think about all the crap your body's going through physically and emotionally, and it kind of spoke to that emotion and not understanding what was going on with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get from that song when I think about it.
Okay.
See, I remember that just like elementary school like
Dances.
dances or whatever. That's the song you play. That's the slow song where you
That's
have
the
to
slow dance.
Yeah.
and you're slow dancing.
Where
Elementary school
where
slow
you had to
dance.
stand with your
10 feet
arms out in
apart,
front of
yeah.
each other. There was no
No.
close dancing
No.
in elementary school, that's
That
for
was
sure.
not allowed, no.
Obviously, I've heard a lot of these songs growing up.
Mm-hmm.
The one that always sticks out to me as like influential or whatever would be Jukebox Hero. Obviously, that one, you know, at that point, I wanted to do something in my life with music because, you know, and the thrill of going to concerts and stuff. That one always sticks.
Do you feel like that's more of an angsty song, like song for like guys, like that's teenage rebellion?
I
Yeah,
never ever really
you know?
saw it as an angsty song.
No?
Like it just like
Did it invoke feelings in you?
It did. It was the lyrics and everything like that. Just, you know, standing outside of a stadium and hearing the music and
feeling all the
It's
feels,
that anticipation
man.
feeling.
yes,
Yes.
actually that is right.
Feeling
Feeling
all the
all the
feels.
feels, like all that emotion around it, and like that is way music is for me. Is you hear that, like anything to do with a live show, there's just a power to it.
Yeah.
I have some people I know that they, oh well, on the album, you know, the music sounds so much better than in live, but
Never.
there is a presence when you're live in the concert, and it just engulfs you with the audience and
Yeah,
everything.
the audience
It-
has a big part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So that will be my big one, but like I could go through their list. There is so many songs.
That invoke different things in you.
Yeah.
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 Well, like you said, like I want to know what love is. That's like you said, like elementary school, early high school, thinking back to, you know, those crushes that you
Crushes,
had or
yeah.
whatever. And I mean, like I said, looking at the list of songs that they put out, like I've heard a lot of them, and I have vague memories of being at, you know, friend's place with my mom while they were having, you know, whatever kind of party they were having,
Yeah.
and hearing the music in the background to the point where, you know, when I hear it again when I'm older, I'm like, oh yeah, I do know that song kind
Yeah.
of thing. But I mean, I feel like kind of a late comer to the game, considering that's the song that I think of most when I think of Foreigner.
Absolutely.
And it didn't come out till like 1984, whereas they had been in the business for nearly 10 years before that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't that the song too where they had the choir like in the video as well? Wasn't that the song?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
I think it was. They always have a choir, and
It
that's
could've
what
been.
just.
I don't know.
I think that was the one. Yeah.
The one
I
I
think-
know the choir is what's her name? This is
I know. I know.
Sweet
Julie-
Eyes.
Yeah.
What I can't
I don't
remember.
know her name. I can't think of it.
I think that was the one.
Turn around.
Yeah. What is
Um,
that?
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
No, no,
yeah.
Bonnie Tyler.
Bonnie Tyler.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that
Yeah,
was
had a choir.
because he was. I think they did the whole video when he was in the studio or something, and then the choir was singing in the background. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to go watch the video. I
Do really need to know, yeah, for sure.
Hey, in this situation, to the video.
Yeah.
I think my song was that was yesterday. I just when I first watching much music at the time, or some video probably, or afternoon videos on
At that time,
CBC or
I
something.
say
It goes
there
CBC.
were no afternoon videos at that point.
CBC or something. Like
It would have been
that.
Good Rockin' Tonight.
or
It would have
something
been
like
Good
that.
Rockin'
Yeah.
Tonight.
Maybe it was even
Terry
much
David
music or
Bell.
something.
Staying up till midnight as
And-
a little young kid.
Yes.
It was awesome.
That was that live
The feel.
scene. Like
Yeah.
they show him walking, like all the fans walking to the
Stadium.
stadium, and then going to the stage, and they were going to the stage, and then just seeing the lighting. Yeah,
It just
it wasn't like the effects the way they are now, like
No.
in certain bands, but it was the song. It was that hook that I don't know. There
Gave
was
you
just
the
something.
goosebumps.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
about close to 10 years ago, it all of a sudden I just started listening to it again. I'm like, wow, that came out of nowhere. But that's
Well, I think Foreigner is one of the ones that's always in the back of your mind. It's I don't know, like grandma's cookies. I don't know how to explain it. It's just
It's comforting. It's comforting when you hear
I
it.
was gonna say, I'm sure
Yes.
the band appreciates that. Grandma's cookies. Back when I was listening to Foreigner.
because it brings back those memories.
No,
like
like-
grandma's cookies.
It does.
Right?
It's like a warm blanket or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
It wraps you in an innocent time.
An innocent
Yeah.
time.
well, especially in the summer and your windows are down and you just
Yeah.
crank it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're just going for a drive or something.
Just going,
That
going to the
was-
lake, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
These were the songs. They were just catchy, to the point. Whenever they came on the radio,
Yeah.
crank it. And probably next song you want your done again. Unless you had a mixtape and then you had a couple of Foreigner songs and a couple of whatever songs, and
Yeah.
you just, that was it. You just
Because we wouldn't have
thrive.
been able to afford much at this age.
No, we
No.
wouldn't.
We
Like,
would have
yeah,
had
we
them
were
on
all.
tape. I didn't have any of it.
No, we all sat there if we wanted. We had a tape or whatever, the
Yeah,
boombox,
recorded.
if you want to call it
Yeah.
that, and sit there and wait until it came on the radio. And you sit there to try to time it perfectly to
Yeah.
record that
To
song.
record
which,
that song.
Never
Yeah.
Which you never happened.
You usually got parts of it. It's-
Yeah, and then you forget, and then you got
Yeah.
the next song on it, or
Yeah.
you don't write it down, and next thing you tape over it, and you're like, oh, crap.
Crap.
That's why you're supposed to break the tabs off. And I just realized
Exactly.
some people listening to this have no idea what
No
we're
idea
talking
what you're talking about.
That was that Gen
Radio
X thing, I
tape.
guess.
Case, cassette, what the heck is that? Yeah.
Now, yeah, and with music technology now, with Spotify and everything else, like Apple Music or whatever, you can
Are you
iTunes.
allowed to say that?
I don't know.
Trademark.
Trademark. Sorry, trademark.
The various sites that promote music.
Exactly.
There we go.
You can, but you can listen to those whenever you want.
Yeah.
You can,
It's easier.
easy to listen
Yeah.
to the songs, and it.
But then that takes away from ever listening to a full album.
Again, yeah.
Again,
you're
yeah.
missing.
And I'm old school. Lately, I've been listening to it, so I've been listening to the full album
Yeah.
and on repeat and over and over. And I've actually discovered some songs that I never knew before. That wow, like why didn't they release that? Or that's got a good hook, or oh, that's interesting, or something along those lines. And
That's why those sites are
Yeah.
good tools too, right? In a sense, like you're actually able to go to that toolbox and listen to what you want and decide where you're going to go with your music taste now too, right?
Yeah.
well, yeah, and it
Yeah.
just opens up a whole another genre that you could get into eventually, and that's
Yeah.
or you're driving along or somewhere and it'll be like all of a sudden the song comes in your head. Wow, I haven't heard that song for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, find it, and then you're listening to that and whatever else if that album comes up on or something.
Mhm.
You just listen.
Yeah,
And it
that's
just-
usually how I get into music that I haven't listened to for a long time. It'll pop up on random on my iPod or something like that, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard the song in like ages, and then I'll go back and listen to the albums, and again, like you said, over and over and over, and just go through a phase of listening to this or that or the other thing.
Well, yeah, I've noticed that too. Like if you're in a certain area of town, or if a certain smell comes around, then it just brings you back to that, and you want to go, wait, I need to listen to this song. I need to listen to this album, and then you kind of get stuck in this loop of just totally diving down into that that band or that singer, right?
Yeah, or the rabbit hole of whatever that
Well, that's just it.
Monkey brain. It's monkey brain.
The rabbit hole of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like
I should be doing this, and an hour's passed, and I've listened to
An
this
album.
album
Yeah.
straight.
yeah, it's crazy. Like some of the things that you could be thinking about, and all of a sudden, boom, that song comes on the radio, and it's like wow. And then you were like, I wouldn't mind listening more of that.
Yeah.
Or
Or have
Exactly.
they done anything new?
or have they done anything?
Right? 'Cause
Exactly.
you may not know.
No.
Yeah,
They could
yeah,
have done
exactly.
a resurgence, and then you're like, oh, they did a
I didn't
resurgence.
even
a couple
know.
years
Yeah.
ago.
See, now that
There's a few brands I've experienced that
now
with.
that goes more to my like of older bands and stuff like this is like this one, they had hits right from the get-go, but it was like certain albums where they broke. What was nice is they broke on that album, and you get that, and then you could go back and see a back catalog of albums and everything like this, and you can get a full appreciation of what's there. You take some of the newest artists out there, and especially with the YouTube and all this. Sorry about trademarks.
Well, I think we can say it. I don't think it matters if.
But people will sit there and like they put out a thing, and they're the latest and the greatest, and there's that. But that's it. Like here's this one song.
Yeah.
Everyone's gravitating, so they're flash in the pan. They're a great hit right now. There's nothing to kind of back it up or solidify it, and then they're forgotten about and they're gone. Whereas like you take a band like Foreigner in this instance that we're talking about, is there such a large catalog that they have.
I didn't even know. Did not know until we were reading about this.
Yeah.
But you could go back over this catalog and you can get an appreciation of the whole scope of everything that they've produced
That
and
they
put
did,
out there.
Well, yeah, and this was at a time too when they came out. There was no videos,
Yeah.
No, there wouldn't be.
so
No, not until the
like,
early 80s, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like when 4 came out, okay, now they started getting into it. But when that was yesterday, as an example, that video, boom, there we go. Or I
It
want
got
to
it
know
out
what
to more
love is,
people.
or something along those lines, right? Or Waiting for Girl Like It, like
We were very visual. Our age group, I would say, visual helped a lot selling.
yeah. So
Yes.
they had to tour a lot when they started, and they would tour, record. Whereas when all of a sudden MTV comes out or Much Music, those videos come out. Now everybody's like, oh, visual,
Yeah.
perfect. Now we got to really see them live.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like,
now-
this is what
You
this
get
is
an
like.
even better appreciation for them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly, and what they actually sound like live.
Yeah.
Because before that, it'd be like, oh yeah, unless you've seen them in concert.
It's so different too, right? Listening
Yeah.
to a tape, a record, a CD, the radio to live is just, it's completely different. You
Yeah.
get a whole different experience. They don't sound the same all the time, right? It's,
No, they don't.
Yeah, their voices
Yeah,
are
most
different. They
don't.
have,
Yeah,
no,
there's very
all
few
those
that actually do.
auto-tune and whatever else, right?
Yeah.
What are they doing in the studios that make it sound so different? But then a lot of the bands from these eras do sound like them when you see them live. I find
Yes.
that interesting.
Yeah, like you know
Yeah.
the music, like
Yeah.
you know the
Yeah.
music's going to be the same
Yeah.
Yeah,
most of the time,
most of the time.
right? It's going to be pretty. It could be a little bit faster, a little bit slower.
Yeah.
But it's the
But the
vocals.
notes are the same, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you're.
You don't know
Gonna
what you're gonna get. No,
But these guys, Lou
Yeah.
Gramm, you're pretty much
they're gonna get the same thing as they've
gonna get
yeah.
it the same, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the bands from that time, you know what they're gonna sound like.
Mhm.
They've gotten older. The voices have gotten
Little thrash.
it's a little thrash. You know, it's a different key, but you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yes, you know who you're gonna get as a performer,
Exactly.
right? That makes a big difference too. If you don't know if they're good performers, you don't know if you want to go to that show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, like, I was lucky, like I said, I got to see them, but unfortunately it's not with Lou Gramm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the vocalist, Kelly, now, he's powerful voice.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna get though.
You know what you're
you're
getting.
not getting the other guy. You're getting him.
Yeah,
You know, he's got a good voice, so you know you're gonna have a good show.
exactly.
It's just not going to be the same.
It's not
the
foreigner.
exact same. It's not.
It's foreigner, but it's
But it's
not
foreigner
foreigner.
adjacent.
Like,
Yeah,
music's
foreigner
good.
adjacent. I like that.
Like,
yeah.
you know, but that's the way it is. So, yeah, it's kind of it's an interesting band and dynamic and how they're going about it. But I don't know. We'll have to.
We'll have to
Let's
see if
see.
we go.
Yeah.
Yes, then they are coming to our area.
When
So,
is that? Do you know? Is it this year?
May, first week of May, I believe.
May?
So yeah, I
We
wouldn't
may
mind
have to
seeing them
plan
again.
that for studying purposes.
Exactly. There's some.
Educational.
I know there's a few bands that are coming that we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
So we'll have to.
Go for
See
research and see if we can.
It's a good excuse.
It's
to
a
go
good
see
excuse to go see them.
Like we need an excuse to go see a concert.
Well, we do.
Right?
Yeah.
Totally.
They do put on a good show. It's just straight music. It's not like a Kiss show or anything like that.
Mhm.
May 3rd is when they're in our
May 3rd?
area.
So May 3rd. So there we go.
Oh, there we go.
We could see them.
We
We
could
could
do
see them.
that.
Anyway. Well, I'd just like to say thank you guys. And
Mhm.
thanks everybody for joining us.
Well, thank you for being our host.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, so yeah.
Thank you for bringing along this. That's along
For
on
the
this
ride.
journey.
On this
Yeah,
adventure.
so thank you for joining us at the Music Roundtable, and until next time. And there will be a next time.
There will be a next time.
For sure.